Alright everybody, welcome back. We are finishing up on our Will playthrough. Look at everything we've done. Now we do have a timer that we have to beat. Oh, that makes me anxious. Alright, let's check all of our new letters.
¿Por qué me pasan este tipo de cosas?
Gatos, te extraño.
Let's go home. My father.
부처님, 도대체 제가 뭘 어떻게 해야
이게
되죠?
바로 나의 정이다.
Alright. We were heading towards the port in a black sedan driven by Yi. She had received reliable information that Mr. Lin had some business at the warehouse there tonight, and I should be able to see him. Before heading out, Yi had prepared all kinds of weapons, even some hand grenades. She said I had already become an enemy of the Black Dragon Gang, and showing up like this after escaping prison was practically committing suicide. If I insisted on going, we had to be prepared. But all of the weapons were too difficult for me to use. It took me forever to figure out how to use a handgun, not to mention the others. So in the end, I decided to only take a gun with me. No matter what happened tonight, I had to take this opportunity and get an answer from Mr. Lin. We were about 1 kilometer away from the port when Yi stopped the car. I opened the door. To be honest, I wish you wouldn't leave me. Yi grabbed at my clothes. There was barely any human traffic around here, nothing except a group of trees nearby. It felt a little creepy indeed. But I have to go. How about I leave you the gun? You idiot, that's not what I meant. I mean... Her face became red. For some reason, my heart was suddenly beating faster, and my face was getting red too, even hot. I even felt my hair perking up. Was this what they called love? Yi pulled her hand back into the car. I'll be waiting here. Then she rolled up the window. I stared at her from outside, nodded my head, and walked towards the port. No matter what, I must come back in one piece. I had so many things I wanted to tell her. Halfway to the port, I heard a strange sound of a bird chirping. It didn't sound like regular birds, and I began to worry about Yi. I ran back to where the car was. The black sedan was still there, but the driver's side door was wide open, and there was no one inside the car. I saw a few drops of blood on the ground near the door. I got into the car and started the engine. I was driving at the highest speed possible. I went through every single road and alley I could find nearby, but I couldn't find any other cars or people that looked suspicious. The sun had come out, and I still couldn't find Yi. In the end, I didn't see Mr. Lin at the port, and I had lost Yi. She was gone, just like that. There were too many people who had a reason to harm her. It could be an enemy of the Blood Gang, or it could be someone who had a personal grudge like Mr. Khan. It was all my fault. I should not have let her wait for me there. Lord, please bring her back to me. Carlos. Okay. I didn't hold a funeral for Zucco. The night of his death, a man and a woman in blue tracksuits came over. They told me that they had been his longtime designated body handlers. There was no sign of grief on their faces. They just moved his body into a body bag like it was business as usual. They unlisted and canceled the phone number. His favorite 3-month-old adult magazine was also thrown into the body bag and taken away. All that was left to me was Zucco's own credentials to his business app, and all the contact information for his informants over the years. He seemed to know that I would need all of this one day. In one night, it was almost as if this person had never even existed. It was like magic. Well, it befitted the style of the magician. I didn't wait until the next day. I followed the lead that Zucco had given me and contacted multiple informants of his. Quickly located the address of the man who had delivered the bomb to my house. Vengeance was not my only purpose. Another thing that had caught my attention was the small item that Zucco had taken off the bomb. It was such a unique item that I had recognized it instantly. There was no mistake. I had made something similar to this over a dozen times myself. I couldn't be more familiar with the technique. When he came back from the laundry, still humming a tune, he didn't notice my existence at all. after he had given the password to his contact system, assassin number 7, one of my younger colleagues, lay on the floor with a hand covering his slit throat. He was looking at me with a face full of regrets as I sat in his computer chair wearing his baseball cap. I lit a cigarette. Memories were flooding through me. Ray never smoked. He said smoking would make a person dull, so he always had a bottle of gum with him, and he would take one whenever he needed to be alert. I had eventually developed the same habit after spending so much time with him. But now, I pursed my lips, watched the white smoke leave my mouth, twisting in the air and disappearing. Those memories of us should disappear just like the smoke. 2 a.m., the other side finally logged on. Mission accomplished. Did she say something? Not exactly, but she had something she wanted me to pass on to you. In 3 days, 4 a.m., Warehouse 5 at the port. As he logged off, Zuko's app buzzed. There was a new order, and the payment was good. Coincidentally, the target of this order was the same person that I was going to meet. The wind tonight felt unusually cold. Ray had just finished his business and had sent away his men. He was standing under the streetlight in front of Warehouse 5 by himself, and had just put a piece of gum in his mouth. The fallen leaves were swept up into the air by the wind and blown towards where I was hiding. He looked up. His eyes squinted. His mouth curled into a perfect arc. It was the same expression he had on his face every time he saw me in the past. I turned my head and looked away. I knew it was just a trick that he was using to play me. But I just couldn't force my finger to pull the cold trigger. A gunshot. I wiped away the tears. I was leaning on a rock near the dam, facing the ocean, with Ray's coat over my shoulders. My mind was slipping away from me, along with the warmth as it slowly left my body. Is Mexico on the other side of the ocean? No, I don't think it's in the right direction. The ocean is so dark. When is the sun going to come out? Carlos must be in class right now. Maybe school is almost over. Is it snowing? No, it can't be. I must be dreaming. Must be. Heavenly Father, please take me to him. Don't let me wander in the wilderness, alone. Please. Alicia. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do that. Two gunshots. His bullet grazed my left shoulder, and mine went through his right eye. I stood upon the dam facing the dark ocean, with Ray's coat over my shoulders. I could still feel the final warmth from his body. Eventually, it was gone. Zuko Zep had just received another order. It seemed quite dangerous. I threw his coat into the air and let the wind carry it into the ocean. I set my destination for the next target. Time to go. But I have to go. You idiot, that's not what I mean. I mean... Her face became red. For some reason, my heart was suddenly beating faster. And my face was getting red too, even hot. I even felt my hair perking up. Was this what they called love? Yi pulled her hand back into the car. I'll be waiting here. Then she rolled up the window. But I put my hand on the closing window. Wait. I had noticed something in the trees earlier. It could just be some animals, but it could also be someone following us. Yi was the princess of the Blood Gang. I couldn't leave her here by herself. I walked around the area for a little while after Yi had driven away, making sure nobody was following her. I waited until there was no more unusual rustling in the trees, and then continued walking to the port. I was walking so slowly, all I could think about was Yi. I didn't even notice that it had started snowing. It was almost daytime when I finally arrived at the port. Mr. Lin was nowhere to be seen. There were only a few fishermen arguing about whether they should still go fishing in this unusual weather.